Alright, so here we are continuing our series on becoming a web developer. Now what I did is I quickly went to Indeed and I just typed in junior web developer, front-end web developer, Chicago, Illinois. So these are the search results that came up. So let's just kind of take a look at some of these things so we know how to gear our portfolio to a specific job. Because like I said, after we build out a nice portfolio, I'm going to actually apply to these and see what hits I get. So here's front-end developer. Let's see what they look for. So these are always the same in every single job application. 5 years experience, 2 years experience. Let me explain something to you. If your portfolio rocks and you have 0 years experience, but they can see through your ability, your vernacular, your ability to talk about web development, talk about code, art, whatever it is that your passion is, they will jump at the chance at grabbing you if you're good. And on top of it, they know you are eager to start, and so they will probably start you off at like $25 an hour. Like when I did web stuff in the past, I started off junior, but they gave me, I think it was like $5 more than whatever minimum wage was at the time. And so the idea is, the main concept here is if you have a good portfolio, it shows that you have passion for what you're going to do, and they can 100% bring you in. I'm going to share with you a soapbox story. You can fast forward through this to get to the programming stuff, but really quickly, I had a student of mine years ago who now works at a company, a video game company that does all the X-Men stuff in Wisconsin. So I'm trying to keep names out of this. So what happened was, I was teaching actually an animation course at the time, and we were doing a 4-legged horse run. And we have this big thing at the school where all these developers, these portfolio people come in, and these companies come in to view our students' portfolios. And all of them had this 4-legged horse run. Like all of my students were showcasing these, these horse runs and these animations, these companies. And the guy from this company comes over and says, "Hey, I really like this one particular person's work." And I was like, "Yeah, like this person's phenomenal. They're very quiet. I'm surprised that you picked them. What was the thing behind it? I think they'd be great for your company. All this good stuff." And the art director goes, "Well, everyone else had this like very basic structural, really good 4-legged horse run. But this particular person did it where the horse is running and leaps over the fence and eats some grass." Now, that's not really that impressive, but what was impressive to him was that if this person is willing to go above and beyond what everyone else is doing, when they put them in a seat, they'll go above and beyond for them. And that's what you kind of want to show in your portfolio, is that you have a true passion for what you're doing. Okay, enough of the soapbox speech for now. Let's jump back into this. So what we have to showcase is CSS, HTML, JavaScript, which is here. And if they say they're looking for these specific libraries, I will later Bootstrap or any of this other good stuff, React, I will integrate that into my portfolio before I apply. All right, so let's go to our build a web host here. I'm going to click on my file manager, and we're going to continue our series just on connecting our PHP, because we've been doing a little bit of HTML, CSS last video. Let's move on to talking a little bit more to our database. So I'm going to duplicate this tab, and on this one, I'm going to just open my contact HTML. On this one, I'm going to open my contact PHP, but I want to hit view on contact HTML, so that pops open to a new one. And then I'm going to, here's contact PHP. I'm going to double click that, and here's this right here. Now, what we have is when I click submit, we have a bunch of connections to a database. Now, what I'd like to do is start figuring out how do I pass information from this HTML file, which is, notice there's fname here. So I want to be able to type in my name here. So exo, and then blah, 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 and I'd like that to go straight to the database. Let's say I have no idea why. I'm in the learning phase. I have no idea how to do that, but I want to showcase that in my portfolio. Well, luckily enough, if I just go to W3 Schools, I always start off by typing that, and I just go to their PHP section up here. So I click on PHP, and I scroll through. You can see they have a whole section just on form handling. And I'm going to meticulously explain and break this down, because I know this is hard to understand. The website is phenomenal, but they do, for the sake of brevity and to help you out, they've kind of put everything inside the page. So we're doing it a little bit different because you should be sectioning off your code. So first things first, if I look over their HTML example here for post, I notice there's something new in comparison to my form here. So I have the same thing where it says form action equals contact.php, but now there's this new thing here which says, let's see, let's go back here for a second. I'm going to pop that in here. It says method equals post. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm just going to paste that after this. Now what this is saying is I'm going to post this information to the page, and I generally make my post all caps. You're going to see back and forth that it doesn't matter, and maybe it doesn't, but the reason I make it caps is in my PHP command it's all caps. Now the next thing you'll notice here is I have a label here, and we're only going to knock out the first one. We're going to do the first one first, and then we'll do the next one. We have a name here, and it's called fname. This is the name of this field. So this is important, so I'm just kind of highlighting that now. So if I jump back into here, you'll notice that as I scroll down to my PHP, it says welcome. Now, mind you, this welcome is part of this HTML statement. The PHP actually starts here, and it ends here. So what I want to do is just grab this echo statement from here, and at the end of my PHP page, I'm going to drop that before the connection. Now, remember I pointed out that the name of our field is fname, so I'm going to double click that, copy fname, go back in here and paste this. Now I'd like to keep that the welcome command, so I'm just going to do another echo here, quote welcome, put a semicolon there, and what I'd like to do is also have a break statement in there, so BR, so that it goes welcome and then it has the name on the next line. So we can probably do something like this where we have a colon. Is that all we need to do? And make sure that, you know, you definitely want to make sure you put some comments in there, like, you know, and then change them up later. Like, here we are repeating or welcoming the user. Here we are welcoming the user to our PHP page. So just so if you have another developer. Let's test it. Let's see if this works. So back in here, I hit refresh a couple times, and I have my first name, EXO, and I'm just going to hit submit, and you say, hey, look, welcome EXO. Now there's a problem with some of this stuff, and I'll get into that stuff a little bit later. Let's just practice this technique again. Let's go back here. Now that we know how to do this, all we have to do is hit enter and copy this and paste it in here. And remember, our other one was lname. So if I jump back in here, you can see we have lname here. And if I save this, and it says welcome, blah, blah, blah. And actually, you know what? Let's just really just make this a break statement. Or, you know, let's have it on the same line, but we'll do a space. Let's just have a space. And then let's get rid of this break. I know I seem a little bit all over the place, but now it'll be on the same line, but we'll have a little space between it, okay? Let's check it out. So let's go back into here, and I'm going to go back, refresh a couple times, and I'm going to do exo demar. And it's because of lazy, oh, I guess I could just let it form field. And then hit submit, and you can see welcome exo demar. And because I went a little bit long in my conversation, we'll keep going on and passing. We'll go to I'll make another video after this one on sending information to the database.